on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today is a fun video. We're in a little group ride, a little group formation, as you can see. We are riding forth to about, I don't know, 10 bikes maybe, which is pretty neat. It's a good sized ride. We're with the Southern Cruisers, who are just sort of a regional riding group. They've got a handful of, like subgroups or chapters, if you will. So we're on our way up to Georgia, the Peach State, and we're going to go enjoy ourselves some homemade, freshly churned peach ice cream at a peach orchard. People, I got Hailey with me. Say hi, Hailey. Did she wave? She's waving. So let's talk about group riding. Because group riding is the best part, I think, of having a riding community. So group riding is probably like 3 or 4 more bikes when you probably need to have, especially if people aren't used to riding together. You gotta have sort of an understanding of what you're doing. So obviously in a group you're gonna have a first bike and a last bike, and it's probably pretty intuitive why the first bike is important. The first bike is the leader, sometimes referred to as a road captain. Groups, a road captain is just whomever has volunteered to lead the ride and knows the route. In other cases, the road captain is an actual role. So, if you ride with the hog chapter, like Hailey and I will, when there's not a global pandemic keeping us from doing that kind of thing, road captain is someone who has gone through orientation and training. They've been, trained and tested on some safety. They're charged with coming up with routes and having ridden the route, at least once before taking a group out, and they're in charge of, organization, etc. So the lead bike or the road captain is obviously an important role, but your rear gunner or your rear point, your rear rider is also important. So just kind of like in any other traffic situation, if there's someone behind you who's sort of pushing you to keep a certain pace, that's kind of what your rear rider is for. They keep the group together. They try and keep the pace from the rear, fast enough that the whole group is cohesive and stays together. But they're also charged with, if anyone pulls off for any reason, your rear gunner, your safety, is the person who's going to pull off with them to make sure everything's okay. And they're, which can be pretty important, because sometimes someone is pulling off because maybe their bike's making a funny noise. Maybe they noticed a vibration that they had never felt before. Maybe any number of issues. So the rear rider, rear gunner, rear safety, lots of different names for it, but that last bike in the formation is super important to keeping the group together and for ensuring the safety of any riders that might have pulled off from the group. As you can see from the 3 bikes in front of us, we're riding in a staggered formation. So the 2 bikes in front of me, technically, who is directly in front of us, they're going to be about, we shoot for 3 to 4 seconds of travel time in front of me, which means that to the next bike adjacent to me, immediate bike in front of us, going to be about 2 seconds of travel time ahead of us. And so the point of that is obviously safety. For any reason, if anyone should have to brake and you stay in your half of the lane, just like, kind of how we are right now, you should have the time to either come to a complete stop yourself if you're moving slow enough, or to maneuver your way out from being in, on a collision course with the vehicle in front of you. So we do break staggered formation sometimes. You might find that a road is especially narrow, or we've had roads that we've taken on group rides after a bunch of rain and maybe there's been some flooding, so there's debris or there's been some damage to the road. So sometimes we go into single formation, and sometimes right here, momentarily, we're going to take, that was a tighter curve. So we just broke into a single formation. You come out of your tighter curves, you go back to double file. probably see that we'll do some hand signals, and these are super important because they let everybody know in the back what is coming up. So we're going to do hand signals for things like we're taking a left or right turn, hand signals for, hey, we're slowing down. If the speed zone limit changes, maybe we go from a 55 down to a 35, we'll give a hand signal. We got a hand signal for, hey, speed up, catch up, the group is breaking up. So we got hand signals for, related to speed and pace, turns. If there's debris on the route that needs to be avoided, we'll usually point those out with our boots, because hand signals can be, maybe easily confused for something they're not. So the whole point of group riding is a social shared experience. As someone sets a route, you got a destination, you're headed to maybe grab lunch, grab dinner, or in our case, grab ice cream for lunch. But the whole point really is safety. So you can see Mark, he's leading the group. He just gave us a signal for a right-hand turn, which is telling us that, hey, at this next intersection where we can take a turn, we're going to take a right. Everybody, you probably hit your turn signal earlier than you might usually if you were riding by yourself. And then we'll single file into this turn off, and we'll double out of it. If you've never been group riding, you wanted to know a little bit more about it, that's pretty much the basics. I would suggest finding the group, probably you're going to be able to find a group through Facebook or another social media like that. If you got a Harley shop near you and you want to ride with a Harley owner group chapter, then that's a great way to start group riding. And it's fun, and it's an important skill. There's not really much more to dish about the group ride, so I'm going to turn it over to the montage of the journey, and I'll see you guys at the peach plantation.
I'm like, oh, I can really go anytime I want. I'll just whine and whine, and these humans will let me out.
That is what dogs do. How's your ice cream? Oh. How was your ice cream?
Good. Good.
What kind of ice cream?
Peach.
Made from fresh
Peaches.
peaches. Peaches and stuff.